By the way. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I'm Gigi. What you know, Fruit Loop?
Fall weather is here.
It's a little chilly in the mornings. I have to wear a little jacket now when I take my kids to school.
I'm still in shorts and a t-shirt,
Well,
but
yeah,
it's
me
here.
too, for the most part, but
Yeah, it's
mainly
here.
just because the weather warrants it. But my hot flashes are like, girl, why do you have this on? You know how we roll.
Well, the other morning it was like 48, I think.
Yeah, it was nice. Very
Yeah.
chilly.
Yep.
Yeah. So before we get started, we want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Two Cool T-shirt quilts. I'm going to bring, for those of you on YouTube watching, I'm going to show you the what do we call it? The quilt kind. Hang on.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So I'm going to get this up so you can
Yeah.
see like I'm trying to
Oh,
not
it's
all
awesome.
the stitch work in there. It's beautiful. It's perfect. Like propping my back up to watch TV.
Yep. Yep. It's comfortable.
I just realized I have my PJ bottoms on and I just showed everybody. So there you go.
There you go. Be comfortable.
We're gonna have to play that back and make sure like they were pulled up. I'm comfy in the chair here. I'm just saying.
Comfy
So
in the
to,
chair.
so you and I both unplugged a little bit this weekend. You did your thing and went hiking.
Yes, we went hiking and then uh went and laid in a hammock all day.
That is so fun. I would love to go hiking, but my hip is starting to yell at me again. So I got to get another one of those nice injections.
Yeah, so we were by the river, so river noises and just journaled and read and
That's
yeah, it was
fun.
nice.
That's relaxing. I just chilled with my kids, kind of, hey, let's go here. All right, let's go. Just whatever they wanted to do. And it was really nice. Like, yeah, I needed that.
Yeah, and then Sunday we went to art something. It was kind of cool.
No, that
So,
sounds fun. You guys were kind of up in Hendersonville, right?
yeah, they had this really cool and I'm going to pick this up because I like doing photography and stuff. It's called abandoned photography. So you
Mm,
find all these things that are abandoned, and this
yeah.
guy had taken pictures and put it on, the metal, things and all. It was so cool.
Yeah,
It was
that's neat
really neat.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, you're a good shutterbug. So
Mhm.
tomorrow I'm getting to meet one of our listeners. Her name is Jessica, and she's in town for business. And she reached out just wanting a restaurant recommendation. And I said, hey, I got some free time. Let's meet up.
Yeah,
So I'm really excited. Going to meet up with her about 3 o'clock tomorrow. I'm going to go pick her up and we just might get in some trouble.
cool.
Yep. Okay. So we're going to jump in. There's a lot to talk about. And if you are on Twitter or if you follow us on Facebook, a lot of times I will screenshot what he says just because he is all over the place. He mainly stays between the laundry house and the swamp where they've been searching for Brian. So the new Twitter nickname for him, for Brian Enton of News Nation Now, is Swamp Daddy. I just thought that was cute.
Instead of Puff Daddy, it's Swamp Daddy.
Swamp Daddy.
Yeah.
So, real quick, Chad has a change of venue motion October 5th and 6th. That's going to be at 9 a.m. Whether or not they actually use those 2 days, we don't know yet, but we will cover those on our Twitter. Thinking about getting another Twitter account if you just want to follow kind of frequent tweets from hearings of all the cases that we're covering. I know it can get to be a pain when you hop on Twitter and one account's tweeting a lot. So, thinking about doing that. Let us know if you prefer that. Do you prefer a second Twitter handle for trial coverage and then just our regular one? So, this weekend was Gabby's memorial. And it was very touching. And I tell you, there were a couple of things that really stood out to me. When Gabby's dad, Joseph Potito, got up there, he said that Gabby didn't have step parents, that she had 4 parents that loved her. And I thought that spoke volumes
Yeah.
about the love and the support that Gabby grew up around.
Yeah. Well, you think about it, her stepdad was the one out there
Mhm.
searching. Like he
Yeah, and
was, yeah.
yeah, and they hugged, and you could just tell that. I mean, if only blended families could follow that lead, we would have some healthier kids we usher out into the world. It's so hard when divorced parents fight, and then you got the step parent that's not automatically liked coming in. And there are a lot of times where the other parent will prevent their child from really having a free and open relationship, and it's just damaging.
Yeah.
So it was really nice to see that. And then he said, if there is a relationship that you're in right now that might not be the best thing for you, leave it now.
Mm.
And I thought that was a really good thing to say because we all know how we got here. And I think that this case has opened up a whole new discussion about domestic violence and the nonverbal signs. And I was thinking, I was driving down the road, my brain always goes crazy. But I think we need to approach how we take care of people who might be in those situations. And I thought, if I see a friend walking out in traffic, well, I'm going to say, hey, stop. You might get hurt. You might get killed. I think it's time that we deal with domestic violence with the same urgency.
Yeah. It's we've been doing a lot of research on it for my ministry, and a lot of it is there's several factors. One main one for females is they don't have the means to get out.
Yeah, that is a big reason women stay in abusive relationships.
Yeah, it's just you got kids, you don't have the finances.
It's hard.
Um so yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So they've also set up the Gabby Potito Foundation, and Joseph tweeted out, no one should have to find their child on their own. We're looking to help people in similar situations as Gabby. And the website they've set up is the GabbyPotitoFoundation.org. The family is also doing a news conference tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We don't know what they're going to talk about, but they've been amazing through this. They've shown so much grace and love.
Yep.
And our hearts go out to them, and the hard days are just starting for them. You get over the memorial and then you get back to everyday life without that person in it, and so it's gonna be a rough go for them, but they have the world wishing them well.
Yeah. There was a lot of people came through that too.
There was a ton.
Yep. Yep. All right, so now on to the manhunt.
Mm-mm-mm.
So Brian has been on the run for almost 2 weeks. Today, his parents, through their attorney, released the following statement. Chris and Roberta Laundrie do not know where Brian is. They are concerned about Brian and hope the FBI can locate him. The speculation by the public and some in the press that the parents assisted Brian in leaving the family home or in avoiding arrest on a warrant that was issued after Brian had already been missing for several days is just wrong.
This lawyer needs to learn a better way to communicate with his public statements. He's
Yeah.
just wrong.
They're
Well,
so cold and calculated. Like, you know what I
mhm.
mean?
Well, I mean, good grief. She lived with them. He came home without her. We don't know what he told them, but I mean, really, you've got her family calling. You only answer the phone if you don't want to say to them what you know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? Well, we got some stuff about Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Yep. So everybody saw it. I think you put it on Twitter. Dog came knocking on the laundry door Saturday.
Yep. I say he banged. He was like, "Bah, bah, bah, bah." He did like the popo knock.
So mama called 911.
Okay, here's my thing about that. This statement says that they're worried about Brian. Would you not welcome anybody that has resources to come and help look for your son if you're that worried about him?
Not if it's Dog the bounty hunter, because
Because he's a bounty hunter.
he's gonna
Wh-
find him.
What does she think's gonna happen? He can't be on the lam forever.
Yeah. Yeah. So his daughter tweeted that Dog has a hot lead on Brian's location and has alerted authorities.
Yep. That came in just a couple of hours ago.
Yeah. It's so like bounty hunters are legit.
Yeah.
That's where they make their money.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, they make a lot of money. Um, but he knows, and I'm not saying the FBI or anybody else doesn't, but they deal with it a lot. Um,
Yeah.
so so Josh Benson from WFLA tweeted, "Dog has alerted authorities to a campground that could provide a fresh clue in the Brian Laundrie manhunt. It's a developing story, but s- courses? Is that right?
Or that I think she might Sources.
This is so funny.
Your face
This
was
is so funny. I was like, wait, courses? Sources say it's a new search area with promising leads. I'm
and
telling
then
you, he gonna find him.
look, a lot of people have asked me, "What do you think about Dog the Bounty Hunter being on it?" And to be honest, I'm not super familiar with him. I know who he is, and I think way back in the day, I watched a few episodes. And at first, I thought, "Oh man, this is not the time to be getting publicity." But then, if he's bringing his own resources and we find this dude, go for it. One more
Exactly.
set of experienced eyes looking can't hurt.
Who cares if he sorry about that. Who
Mhm.
cares if he if he catches him, do it.
I agree. So there was another tweet right here.
Yeah, so from Dog's team, Dog is not at the reserve. He's at a campground that he says was visited twice by the parents in recent weeks. He is waiting for authorities to arrive.
Now, this video got posted when you and I came on and started talking.
Yep.
So what he's essentially saying is he's talked to the caretakers of this campground, and he says that September 1st through the 3rd and September 6th through the 8th, the 3 of them registered to stay, and he says they were caught on camera. He said 3 people came in on the 6th, and allegedly 2 people left on the 8th. So, that could maybe be a big deal if true. He said there's a lot of little islands out that he could have taken a canoe to. So, I bet Dog's canoeing over to one of them islands right now.
Yeah, he rowing. He rowing a boat. Sheesh. He gonna find him, I'm telling you.
Dude, I will eat my shoe if he finds him.
But listen to what he said. He's
That'll be
waiting
good.
on
I mean,
authorities to get there. He's waiting on authorities to get there. I know some people don't like him and think it's all about publicity or whatever.
yeah,
But if you ever watch his show, he truly cared about the people he arrested.
really
Like he
nice.
talked, yeah, he when they were like sitting in the back of the patrol, like not patrol car, but the cars they took him in. I mean, he would talk to the people and treat. I mean, he treated them like human beings.
Oh, okay. I mean,
Um,
that's cool. I mean, I
so
don't really have a lot of opinion because I don't really know much about him other than
yeah,
just tabloid stuff. But hey, another set of eyes. If it catches this dude, I'm all for it.
yeah,
Let's do some
yeah.
rumor control because they're out of this world. I think the latest sighting of him was on Mars. That's
Oh
how
yeah,
bad it's gotten.
it was a rover. It was one of the rovers he found. Yeah, yeah,
So they have not located any electronic devices or camps in the reserve. There's no evidence connected to Brian that has been found so far, according to authorities. And there are no verified sightings of Brian. I mean, I would hate to be a bald dude right now with a beard because you guys are under surveillance. We're watching. I
yeah.
was
You're
driving
getting
today.
stopped.
I was driving today and there was a bald guy on the road, and I was just kind of like, I mean, you
Yeah.
go there. My mom, she
Well,
said she
yeah,
was driving down the road, bald guy. She said, I almost ran into somebody looking.
yeah.
Yeah,
We
every
did it. We did it this weekend camping because I was like, you don't know where he is.
no, he's very familiar with Boone, North Carolina, which is not far from here.
Yeah, and we live close to the Appalachian Trail and all that, so
Dude, we could tag team in Fruit Loop.
I am not going on AT.
No, me either.
Mhm.
So authorities went to the laundry home on, I think, Sunday. And what they were getting, according to Brian's lawyer, is anything that had something that had Brian's DNA on it. And it was a really quick visit. So apparently the parents already had what they needed. They came out with a brown bag and they didn't say what the DNA was for. And Brian Enton, who's been great on this case, he interviewed a former FBI profiler who theorized this was probably more related to the murder investigation and not Brian being on the run. So I think
Yep.
the last we had heard, they hadn't released her body back to the family. We're waiting on toxicology, but they're going to look under the fingernails. They're going to look for anything like that. So that's probably why. I think if they had found something that would indicate maybe he was in the swamp and died, we might have heard something by now. But
Yeah.
it seems
Yeah.
like it was maybe for that. Um, so the house got swatted over the weekend. Do you know what swatted is? Where somebody calls in a fake crime, like a hostage situation or shots fired, and then law enforcement swarms in. And
Oh,
it
no.
happens to celebrities a lot. I've seen it, a couple of celebrities get swatted. And so they fan out to the back of the house, to the front of the house, and I was listening to the scanner because I thought, "They're going for the parents. Here we go."
Yeah.
And they said this was swatting, so people have a lot of time on their hands, and I think what people don't understand is these things have penalties. So why
Oh,
don't you
and
read
it's
what
a
the penalties are?
so swatting penalties in Florida: third-degree felony if the response exceeds $2,000. Second degree if it causes great bodily harm, disfigurement, or disability. Third-degree felony if someone is killed. It's such a waste of money.
It is, and it's dangerous because there was a case, I don't know, it's maybe in the last year where somebody, wanted to watch the police response through their Ring cam, and I think 2 people got shot and killed, or I don't know if they got killed, but
Yeah.
2 people got shot. That's a big thing, so people just have so much time on their hands. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's not cool. Not cool at
No,
all.
I mean, because you tell me the FBI's on this case, you think they ain't already knocked on that door of whoever
Yeah.
swatted?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
have, and you're gonna end up go to jail for what? Hmm.
Being stupid.
Yeah,
Being stupid.
exactly.
So Northport police said the FBI is officially leading the search for Brian. Then they talked a little bit about the search at the Carlton Reserve will be scaled back and specific areas will be targeted based on intelligence.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it's hard there. I mean, right now, we said on the last episode, it's 75% underwater. It's impossible.
yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, there's nothing like hiking when it's rain like that. It's
Oh,
it's
no.
miserable.
I
Your
can't
socks get wet, your feet get wet,
get
and you
blisters.
can't hike with wet socks and feet. You have to keep them dry,
Yeah.
because you get, like, jungle rot or whatever. Um,
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I mean, I kinda thought maybe he was in the reserve just because of the response. It was fast and furious and a ton of resources, but you think about it, there's so many things. The guys that were searching, they would have to stop every few hours and load up on carbs and intake a lot of calories just to keep going because that mud's thick and it probably
oh,
adds
yeah.
5 pounds when you lift your foot up. So my
Yeah.
theory was a lot of these outdoorsy people and survivalists have said, if he's out there, if he ain't dead by now, he's close.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy. There's so
Mm-mm.
many factors against you, especially in that area.
Yeah.
Alligators, all that stuff. Mm-mm.
Yeah, bobcats, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's the rainy season too.
Yeah, so Florida's rainy season lasts until October 15th. Between May through October, Florida gets 70% of its annual rainfall. And like we said, it's not good for searches, but it's also time for heavier rains due to tropical systems and early season cold fronts. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the best conditions, and then you know, for me, the whole camping trip thing is very weird to me though, and maybe if this information that Dog the bounty hunter put out is correct, then we know where they went.
Mhm.
And if you come in with 3 and you leave with 2, well, if
I
if
mean,
the
somebody
FBI
stayed behind.
yeah, if the FBI has seen that footage of the 3 of them going in, I'm sure they're probably gonna be talking to these caretakers very soon, if not already.
Yeah. Mm.
But, and the other thing too, people get tired of being on the run. I've seen a lot of these manhunts end where it almost looks like the suspect is a little relieved.
Yeah. Dude, it's like hide and seek as a kid. I got tired.
Oh, yeah, I
When
know,
I'm
you had that
hiding,
one
I'm like, "Come on, find me
you get that
already."
one good spot, you're like, "They're never gonna find me," and 30 minutes later, they ain't found me. So you're
Yeah,
just like,
you
"Here
fall
I am,
asleep.
come get me."
Yeah. Yeah. Over here.
So
Yeah.
you are the big hiker between the 2 of us. And so a lot of people have theorized he would be on the Appalachian Trail, but I don't know that I believe that.
I'm gonna tell you. I mean, the Appalachian Trail is brutal, and
Mhm.
it's very I mean, it's long, like, it's
Yeah.
very long. Like, if you walked it from end to end, I think it takes you, like, 6 months, and that's doing, like, 17-hour hikes a day.
Heck no.
Um, so but I'm gonna be real honest with you, most hiking areas and people who hike like that, they're on the lookout and they know. They'll see
Yeah,
people.
right.
They're not
'Cause
stupid.
and they're
Everybody
not
knows
off the
it's
grid.
safe. No. No, you hike we do part of our ministry, we go in and put care bags. So on the Appalachian Trail, you put care bags that has, like, candy bars and drinks and stuff, so people coming through, they can take advantage of that because you do burn a lot of calories and you need food.
Oh yeah.
Or you have towns that you pop into, get stuff, and come back out. Obviously, he's not doing that.
Right, and I read another thing too is how people are able to do that for so long because you can't carry everything with you. So they'll even mail packages to these post office in these small towns, and then when they hit that town, they go get their new supplies and load up and go. So
Yeah,
he gonna be eating acorns for months. I mean,
yeah. You take
it's
the
about
least amount of weight that you want to carry.
yeah, I'm
Like when you
sure.
hike like that, you don't want to have much on your back. So,
I got like 20 pounds when we hike a mile.
dude, I'm gonna tell you, I'm an overpacker. I'm packing everything. I got extra 75 pounds on my pack.
Yep. Better to be safe than sorry. But
Exactly.
yeah, and it's the Appalachian Trail's busy.
Oh yeah.
This
Yeah.
time of year, it's gonna be very nice in the mountains. It's cool in the mornings, it's warm enough in the afternoon, you don't freeze, but it's gonna be winter soon. Winter is coming.
Yep.
I mean,
Hey, them
yeah.
bears on there too. Them bears on there.
Oh, I know.
Might
Well,
mess with
I
those.
trip
You know what I
you and
say,
run. I will stick
dude?
my leg out.
I got two sayings on that. One, if I see a bear, I do not have to be. I ain't got to win the race. I just got to beat one of you. And two, if you see me running, you better run because I don't run. You better run too. Yeah.
Yeah. So the
So you
911
had a good
call.
point.
What?
Sorry,
Oh, I
you had a
did?
good point. Do they have surveillance of him coming back? Where did he stop somewhere and get supplies in, knowing what he was going to do?
Yeah, I mean, that was just a thought I had because the amount of money that either he spent or got in cash was over $1,000. It's that van, I'm sure, is pretty decent on gas. I mean, I'm sure he had to fill up a few times, but not to the tune of $1,000. And unless
No.
he's eating at five-star restaurants, which I highly doubt because they require shoes in them. You know, I just wondered on the way back after he leaves, after Gabby's been murdered, does he eventually come to the conclusion, I'm going to have to be on the run? Maybe I should grab some supplies. Maybe I should pop them into this campground or this place and have them waiting. It's just a thought I had because either he has supplies or he's eating what he can find.
See, it's what I think. I think they loaded that camper down with all kind of stuff, and he's got supplies.
I think
He's
so
got
too.
supplies because if you, I mean, if you limit what you take each day, if you watch like Bear Grylls, he'll show you how to survive like so many days or whatever. But yeah, he eating canned corn. What he eating?
Some sardines. But here's the
Sardines and
thing,
canned
we
corn.
do wanna say that this we normally don't put anything out unless a news source that's local or a good mainstream media that we can verify. We don't know for sure this is the case,
Yeah,
but I do kinda feel like if he's putting that out there on national media, then there's truth to it. So that's why we talked about this tonight because I think at this point, it sounds like a viable solution maybe. Of course, anything
yeah,
does.
yep.
So, anyways, one more thing about this case, then we're gonna switch over to Murdaugh, the 911 call. So the other day it came out that there was a second person who reported the incident between Brian and Gabby that happened outside of, I think it was Moonflower Restaurant, right before they got
Mhm.
pulled over by police, and then the infamous body cam footage we've all seen. So police were told by dispatch that Brian hit Gabby. And it says here the reporting party states seeing a male hit a female domestic. The dispatcher tells police around 4:38 p.m. the day of the incident. He got into a white Ford Transit van, has a black ladder on the back, Florida plate. So I was watching another expert who said that it definitely there may be some disciplinary action if that's true. I thought I saw where the police chief was maybe resigning
Hmm.
or stepping.
I didn't see that one. I didn't see that one, but it's a big deal. That's a total.
Or maybe he was gonna take a leave of absence. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Something like
it's a
that, I
big
read.
deal. I mean, those mixing that up that she hit him, and I mean that changes the whole thing.
Yes, well, yeah, because then he was the aggressor.
Yeah, and then So he would have got arrested and probably ended up having to go home.
Okay, so it says here the Moab police chief steps away due to the handling of the Potito case and other issues.
Mm,
So it sounds like there may be other things, but that's what it says here. He
yeah,
takes family leave.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
It's hard on
So I
them
think
too. It's hard on them too because I mean, if they did miss it, you know what I mean?
I understand hindsight's 2020. I
Yeah,
really do believe this is where we've got to have some intensive mandatory training on recognizing the nonverbal signs of domestic violence for men, women, children, everybody. Because, it's for me to sit and watch it is very hard because I see a lot of things, you
sorry, that
know,
was
that
me.
that could have been done differently. So, I mean, it does need to be investigated so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah,
And then
reading
we
body
need to
language is
right.
huge.
We just need to send all anybody in any public service needs to
Yeah,
have big time training because
yeah,
this is everywhere.
yeah,
It's people we know and we don't know what's going on because you're taught to hide it. You
yep,
see Gabby, and it's just what really breaks my heart seeing things with her is you see these Instagram and TikTok and all those videos, and she's genuinely happy in the moment. And then
mhm,
you just kind of see Brian like a bump on a log, like he's posing. And it's
yeah,
like he didn't share the enthusiasm. It was clear. And she said in that 911 or in the body cam footage, he doesn't think I can do it. Well, she's
mhm.
heard that a bunch of times before.
Oh, yeah,
Bless her heart. She reminds me so much of my oldest. You know how Taylor is a very free spirit, sees the good in everybody, wants to go on adventures.
yep,
And I have daughters, I have a son, and it's just a very scary thing for me. Gabby's not too much older than my oldest.
yep,
It's touched a lot of people for a million reasons, but I hope that conversation stays at the forefront that we've got to learn to protect our
yeah,
people when it
yep.
comes to all that. So let's jump into Murdaugh.
Yep. So Gloria Satterfield's sons have asked that Alec be arrested and detained until he returns the property that he has fraudulently embezzled from them. This was filed by the boys' lawyer, Eric Bland. Bland says he found the order that approved a 4.3 million payout, and Satterfield's boys should have received 2.76 million. They got nothing from the settlement. That order date was May 13th, 2019. That's
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
They cite South Carolina law where a person can be arrested in a civil case even though there's no criminal charges. And they filed that civil suit on September 15th.
Yeah, so Alex lawyer Jim Griffin says he hasn't seen the filing yet, but he says there could be a legal challenge to the law they're using. He said that law was passed in the 1800s and applies unequally to women, so it's constitutionally suspect on its face. We shall see. That's a lot of money, and I think charges like this, he's going to have a rap sheet a mile and a half long when
Yeah.
this is all said and done.
Well, the thing for me, you can't put money, a price on a human life. There's no
No.
amount of money can, that can help and cause somebody not to hurt because they lost their mom or whatever.
Yeah.
But that money would help them.
Right, because one of her sons is a special needs
Mhm.
young man, and it gets very expensive, and then with her not here, you have to wonder, is he in a group home? Is there somebody caring for he's gonna need a caregiver.
Yep.
But this was all concocted by Alex because if I remember correctly, he approached the boys about suing him. In other words, I'm gonna sue myself, and I'm gonna give
Yep.
the money to you. So last week, the SLED, which is the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, the chief, Mark Keel, told the state newspaper that they're investigating her death and the missing money from the settlement. So they're already on it. And also named in the civil lawsuit was Chad Westendorf, who is a banker from Hampton, there in the area they lived. And he was the personal representative and the administrator of Miss Satterfield's estate. And a Beaufort attorney, Corey Fleming, He was paid $1.4 million in legal fees for this wrongful death suit, who I believe was also Alex's college roommate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
jeez.
that's crazy.
Doherty. The order, as well as other documents related to the suit, were never filed in state court. The judge's order doesn't have a case number, and there's no public record of how the case was settled. All these documents are supposed to be available to the public, but they're
Yeah.
not there. And they also said something about the judge's signature. I've seen the paperwork. It's a scribble.
Hanky. Something's
Mm.
hanky.
Yep. And a quick update on George Wagner the Fourth. This is the Roden Massacre, Pike County Massacre is what they call it. It's where 8 family members were killed in one night. They arrested a family of 4 in 2006 or 18. And two have pled guilty. Jake and Angela, the mother, have pled guilty. The brother and the dad they still have not reached a deal. So what did his attorney say?
So his attorneys have asked to have the murder charges and death penalty case dropped. They say new evidence shows he didn't kill any of the 8 Roden family members that were murdered. His lawyers accuse the defense of holding death over George's head unless Jake testifies to their satisfaction. He also talks about Jake killed 5 members of the Roden family and shot a 6th.
Crazy.
Jake and Angela, we know they've taken plea deals. Jake got life plus 100 more years, and Angela got 30 years. They won't be sentenced until the cases against George and Dad Billy are closed.
Yeah. So I guess they're alleging that the dad shot 2.5. I mean, I don't want to say half, but it says that Jake shot a 6. It didn't say he murdered. So maybe there was some speculation that at Chris Sr.'s house there was a struggle. So maybe they caught him off guard and he wasn't asleep, but who knows? It'll be interesting to see. He definitely covered, pre-planned and covered things up. So I don't think he'll walk out anytime soon if this even flies. But we're going to keep an eye on the manhunt for Brian Laundrie, and we'll come back at you. We're going to maybe start doing some midday updates when there's just a little bit of news that we don't want to wait a day or two. So look for those. They might be 10, 15 minutes. But we're just trying to get out more content on a regular basis. We're both kind of settled now. She's settled in her new house. My kids are settled in their routine. So we just want to start pumping out content more regularly. So it may be a 10 or 15-minute update. It might be a 40-minute full episode. We're just going to switch it up with what works based on the news. So keep an eye out for that. We now have video. So if you want to go over to YouTube, you can watch the video of this podcast being recorded. And we need to do a live in the next week or two.
Yeah, you can see Gigi in her pajamas.
My pajama pants. I think they have paint on them from when I was painting my house. I'm so embarrassed right now. I bet you $100 my shirt was tucked in the back. Oh, and I think
that's funny.
I think my undies might have been poking out.
Hey, we had to get your oldest to check on you the other night when we called you. You didn't answer.
Well, okay.
Called.
My post-COVID body, let me just tell you, it's like I'm an infant. I need to sleep every 2 hours. I have no energy, so it was kind of late. I'd watched a couple episodes of American Horror Story with my oldest, and I said, I'm going to go just rest my eyes for just a second, and then I'll get up and finalize this podcast script. And I woke up, and it was 6:10 in the morning, so sorry. We would have had one last night, but I fell asleep.
Yeah, Taylor goes, no, she's asleep. I checked her. She's good. She's asleep. We said, don't wake her, but
but I wake up to these texts. Are you alive? Are you okay? Where are you? Yeah. It's crazy, but I'm just tired. And then we've been working 12, 14 hours a day in here on this. It's really hard to weed through kind of fact and fiction and rumor and all that. But we're not putting anything out there that's not. And the other thing I wanted to say, we may post articles that have pictures of Brian and Gabby together, but we're personally not going to post pictures of the two of them together on anything that we personally are posting.
Yeah.
It's just, we really try not to do that with any case we follow. I don't want to show a victim with the person that did this to her. So, so we won't do it. Somebody asked us, and we may hashtag them together because it's relevant, but I'm just not about putting abusers with the abused and the murdered up on screen together if it's something we're just saying and not related to a news article.
No, and
We
we
really,
are seeing your messages and stuff. It's just enormous amount.
yeah, we've
Uh,
grown so much in the last 3 weeks, really.
yeah,
Between Murdaugh and this, it's
yeah,
been I mean, it's mind-boggling how many
yeah,
people are reaching out, following us everywhere, and listening. Our numbers have doubled in a lot of ways, and
yeah,
we appreciate it. And so, for those of you who are new, we appreciate you spending time with us, and we're going to follow big cases from here on out. And
yep,
I hope you like what you hear. And we're not perfect, but we have fun doing what we do, and we just try to keep it fact based. So that way, if we say it, it's not a rumor, because it's like wildfire on the internet. I mean,
yeah,
it's like uh, I saw a thing, and it's instead of "Where's Waldo," it's "Where's Baldo." And that's kinda
yeah,
what it is. It's like, "Oh, there's Brian, there's Brian, there's Brian. This guy kinda has a beard." Man,
exactly.
one guy I saw, it kinda went viral on Twitter. He said, "I really need to go to Walmart to get some things, but I don't wanna get asked if I'm Brian Laundrie." I told him to
Uh-uh.
get Instacart.
He's
But
gonna look a
anyway,
little bit different when they catch him. He gonna look different.
oh, yeah, because he shaves his head. He's got a
Mhm.
very receding hairline, but he has hair, so it may be grown out. Maybe he had, well, if he's on an island or in a marsh, I don't think he's shaven, but he gonna look dirty, I'll tell you that much.
He
I
gonna
did
look like a chia pet. You
like
remember
a
them
what?
chia pet? You remember them
Yeah, or
chia
like the
pets?
troll dolls
The
with, like,
little
the hair
stuff
sticking
growed out the head? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, oh my gosh. But we'll keep you updated, keep an eye on all of our social media. We try to keep everything current and, on top of it. So we will see you, um, either tomorrow or Wednesday with a little quick update and a full episode, probably midweek as well.
Good
Have
night.
a good night, people.